Second.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. Hope you are doing well tonight. It is Friday. Thank you for tuning in and spending some time with me today. I'm glad you're here. You're listening to the Financial Chick Show, and I am the Financial Chick. My name is Denise Nostrom, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions, a full-service, independent financial planning firm located in Medford. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. If you want to know more about me or my firm, you can check out my website at financialchickshow.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram at Diversified Financial Solutions. So like our pages to get updates and see what is happening. So, another week. Today was a great day. You know, it's just kind of funny because you talk to people. I've been talking to clients all day long, and you know, I had a client that she was like, I just got done with a walk. It's so beautiful outside, and I told her I was chained to my desk because it's tax time, and you know, just the beginning of the year and the market gyrations. You know, it's just been crazy. And then another gentleman, he's down in Florida, and he was telling me how he was cleaning out his pool today and lounging by the pool and getting some sun. So I was just told him to stop hurting me, you know. But it's the weekend. It is starting to. I mean, I know we're still in February, right? But it was a nice day today. So I guess it gave me a little bit of hope that we're on our way to better weather, and the snow is going away, which is fantastic. So we're just praying for Sunday that it's an all rain event. So it's been an interesting week. I don't know, is it me, or do you feel like that we're living a little bit in the twilight zone lately? I just feel like you just sit and you just wait for another shoe to fall or another person to do something ridiculous. You know, one of the things that I feel an important ingredient to being financially successful is working with a financial advisor. Of course, that's in my humble opinion, right? So one of the things that we've been encountering lately is that people are just canceling. Like, you know, they're just not showing up, or they're just canceling their appointments. And, you know, I get it. I mean, we all have emergencies and things come up, but it seems to be happening just so much lately that people are just zoning out and everything's just all crazy. So it's just important to, you know, if you make an appointment to show up and be there. That's the most important thing. And meeting with a financial advisor or your advisor or me, you know, every 6 months or a year is so important and so integral to success. And why is that? Because things are constantly changing in the market. I mean, just these past couple of weeks, you know, if you're not securing your portfolio, you should be. You know, and with tax season here, it's another big thing that, you know, that's a lot of the calls that we're getting right now. People not getting their tax forms. Just an FYI with that, tax forms for the most part should be in. If you do have a brokerage firm or brokerage account, they tend to be later, but they are allowed to be later. They don't have to get their documents out till the middle of February. So if you're an early filer with a brokerage you know, account, you can't file early. It's just not something that you can do, because you're just gonna have to go back or you know, get that information to the accountant. So it stinks, you know, even like REITs or limited partnerships, if you have those types of products. they just come in a little bit later. So, just always do a check. A lot of my clients, we do a quick check to make sure they have everything, because the worst thing you don't want to get, you don't want to deal with the IRS and have bad things happen there. So go in, plan, and make sure you got everything that you need to have. And one other thing, just dealing with professionals, one thing you'll never have in our office, we always tell people what things are going to cost, whether it be investments or any type of programs that we're doing. And I've been dealing with a professional that it's always like these surprise bills and surprise attacks. So not bashing other professionals, but it's something that we have to be respectful. So we have to be respectful of people's time and money. And it's all about communication. And that's what kind of makes the world go round. And I just feel that lately, and I know we're all stressed and everything's crazy, but lately we really need to respect people and respect people's time. So, like I said, life is crazy. No one knows what the heck is going to happen from one minute to the next. We never really seen such disarray and confusion that's affecting everyone right now. As an adult, we must shoulder the burdens of the world, whether that be dealing with money, bills, parents, children, and the list goes on and on. We all have it. We're all there. What's disconcerting or concerning me, and that's disconcerting, but concerning me right now is the children being stressed and depressed like we've never seen before. So let's take a look at the fact that our wonderful governor announced on Thursday that the statewide mask and proof of vaccination mandates were lifted, which was great, but oh wait, not for kids. So children still need to wear masks in school. Masks are still required in some other places too. So really, who the heck knows? It's just, you have to keep up with, your life, like I said, your bills, your kids, your family, and then you got to figure out the rules of where you have to mask, where you don't have to mask. We've kind of lost track, lost control of everything. Where is the science with all of this? The bottom line, not having good leadership is really, really showing through. And I'm talking leadership for the country and leadership for New York. So there's really, no good news to be found. And that's not me. I'm usually a very positive person. But, it's really affecting everybody. And it's affecting everybody in many, many different ways. I even have a high school senior working with me in the office. And often he comes in and he seems a little bit bummed out. And my daughter, who's a sophomore and in high school, and I see her friends and they come over, they're interacting, and they're super happy one minute, and then they're kind of sad, and we start talking about things, and just the conversations that they're having are just adult conversations that they shouldn't have to have at this point. We're not allowing our kids, and when I say kids, teenagers, whatever the case may be, young adults, we're not letting them enjoy their childhood. So mental health for all ages is really in jeopardy, and it's kind of scary. And it's kind of amazing. I'm very cerebral sometimes, so I think of these weird and crazy things. But it's amazing that people would blame the last administration for all the social unrest, gun shootings, lootings, and general chaos, saying that we could do better and things would be better. But it just seems like those things have only accelerated with the new administration. So this is just my observation. So, bottom line is, let's not believe all the hype. In the next few weeks, I'm very excited. I'm going to have a guest on my show that's a clinical social worker and therapist. I've read some of her articles, and she talks about, why this stuff is happening and ways to deal with all the insanity. So I'm really hoping that she can bring to all of us, including me, some real life solutions. I know for myself, I've been doing a little bit more meditation. I know that sounds like, do, but and when I say meditation, I just feel we're in like a world right now where everything is noisy and everything is loud. And really, it's just kind of taking a step back and a step away from the heresy and just kind of being quiet and just thinking. And I find that, just with everybody, sometimes we can't even think about our financial goals or what we want to do, or even just, how to do it, or the first steps. I can tell you, call a financial advisor like myself, but it's sometimes hard to even get there because we're never like quiet and thinking about things, because we're always on to the next thing. And it's just funny, I had an observation this week that I was on a phone call with somebody, and we're doing some work, some business for a client, and I didn't even say thank you, but she came back and she was like, "Oh, you're welcome." So to me, it was like, we don't even listen to each other anymore, which is kind of interesting. I mean, I try to, that's a big thing. I kind of value that's one of the things that I value in what I do. It's so important for me to listen. And honestly, I do listen to clients. Like sometimes they marvel, they can't believe that I remember certain things. But to really help my clients efficiently with their goals or what they want to do, communication, and more important than communication, but listening, is so, so important. So again, you're listening to the Financial Chick Show. Just kind of just talking a little bit today. It's just been a really, really interesting week, and just how systems are failing all over. But we're going to lift it up, bring it up, and we're going to try to get through this together. Talk about this inflation and everything else that's going on. So we're heading into the break. So again, this is the Financial Chick. I help you find solutions when you feel there are none. So feel free to call me at 631-758-8691 if you have any questions, or just want to chat about the things I talk about on the air. Be back after the break.
Two minutes, Denise.
Okay. So I totally forgot all of my paperwork, so I have to just do this off the cuff. I've never do this off the cuff. I know. Just.
Don't force.
It's been that kind of day, really. How's everybody doing?
Seconds.
Okay, thank you. Welcome back. This is Denise Nostrom, the Financial Chick. My company is in Medford, and you can reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and I'm here to help you navigate all those changes. So just kind of bantering around today. Didn't really have I usually kind of prepare for the show with different things, but just kind of talking about reflecting on the week and what's gone on. And it's been a weird week. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone. But one thing that had happened, and I know when I do business with people, this is something that sends me right over the edge. So I need to call this place and about changing some type of reservation. And every time you call, they're saying that they have a high call volume. Now, I've called all different times, Sunday, Monday, morning, evening, whatever. So what happens is they say that they get the high call volume, but then they tell you to leave a message, and then here's the clincher. They said that we'll get back to you, but it may take us up to 72 hours to get back to you. Now, the beauty of that was that I had left a message a couple of times, whether it be on Sunday or Tuesday, and no one within those 72 hours got back to me. So right now, right off the bat, I'm just aggravated, and I like to do business with certain companies, and I know how I like to do business. So as a financial advisor with my clients, I treat them the same way that I like to be treated. So one of the things in our office is that someone will always answer the phone. There's always somebody there to answer the phone. And if in the remote chance that, let's just say, today we had to run out or whatever and we weren't manning the phones, we're going to get back to you within at least 24 hours, and typically it's much sooner than that. So that's an important facet. I mean, there's a lot of professionals that you leave a message and you never hear back. So you have that opportunity with Diversified Financial Solutions to always have a phone call answered. We also have an opportunity with the phone number that you can text us, which is kind of unique. A lot of financial advisory companies aren't allowed to, actually. But through our compliance company and that type of thing, they allowed us to do that just to make doing business with your financial advisor that much easier, doing business with us. So that really kind of works out well. So right now we are in tax filing season, and it really is the most wonderful time of the year, right? I don't do taxes, however, but our call volume and workload increases big time during this time of year. So the commissioner of the IRS has indicated that it's probably going to be a very tough tax season again. He's saying that they started accepting tax returns the end of January, and this year the tax filing date is April 18th due to a holiday in Washington D.C. So it's not the 15th, which is that Friday. Friday 15th. So right. So it's the 18th this year is when you have your taxes due, and like I said, I mean, just make sure that you have everything before you go to the accountant. And taxes, I do a lot of tax planning with my clients. I know there's different types of accountants. There's some accountants where you just kind of drop your paperwork there and then you pick it up and you sign the documents and then they send it in and then you're done. You either get a return or you don't. And then there's some accountants that actually do some type of planning with you. With my clients, I just spoke with an accountant just this week. We were chatting, a three-way conversation with my client and the accountant. It's a great relationship to have that, and the bottom line for myself and typically for the accountants as well is we want to help you. And it's nice to have the good relationship with accountants and with attorneys, and I have those relationships, and it really enhances my relationship with my clients because they know they can come and I know their situation inside and out. So when I speak to the accountant, who may just know a piece of the situation, I can kind of fill in the missing pieces, as well as the attorney. A lot of time attorneys will call me and ask me questions about obviously if the client allows me to talk to them about their situation to enable them to do their will or to do a trust or whatever the case may be. And I read an article that was really interesting too, that even though, and this is affecting me with my daughter, typically we don't do tax returns for young adults. They don't really make a lot of money. You need the deduction, the standard deduction for 2021 is $12,550, I believe. And if you make under that, you don't need to file a tax return. But it makes sense to do that. And the only exception with that for a young adult is if they have investment assets and they make over $1,100 of interest or capital gains, then they do need to file a tax return. So the bottom line is that why not do it? It kind of gets the child or the young adult in the system. They can do Roth IRAs. When they get to college, it makes sense because a lot of the credits that they may get for college loans or any type of learning opportunity credits, they're already set up and in the system. And one of the things too, the students that had filed taxes, of course we're paying for it now, but they got the stimulus checks last year. And so if they hadn't filed a return, they really weren't in the system, so they wouldn't have gotten the stimulus check. So just a few things while you're doing your tax returns, to talk to your accountants about things that would be important to you. As far as like tax laws, I was just tell you a story today. I'm like working with a client right now that he's in a very interesting situation. and that retired at a fairly young age, has a lot of money, worked for the city, has a lot of money in a retirement plan, and he's not working. He's able to with his pension and that type of thing, kind of keep his income low. And what we're doing is we're going to be rolling out his plan into an IRA, and then starting a program of converting that money from an IRA to a Roth IRA, since he's in a very, very low tax bracket, to kind of get him set up for the future. That when inflation, which is already happening, but when inflation increases, he'll be able to, and maybe his pension won't, he'll be able to endure those increases and be able to pay his expenses without a lot of drama. Because when you think about it, if you take money out of an IRA, you have to pay taxes. But if you pay the taxes today while he's in a low tax bracket, and then later on, when he takes the money, who knows where taxes are going to be at that point, he's be able to take that money out of the Roth IRA tax-free. So it's really kind of a cool program that we're working on right now. And this could be something that could work for you. We take a look, when we think of working with a financial advisor, we think about, I got to have money for investments. And that is definitely part of it. But it's a lot of the strategies that you can utilize. I have another client that is retired, and they, their money has been doing well, and their accounts are going up, and they have a pension, and they're still working, and their Medicare premiums are going up because their income is going up. So if we're looking to take money that's taxable to reduce some of those, the capital gains and interest, and move it into something that's not taxable, and also cover them for any type of care that they may need as they get older, if they need some type of home care. So there's a lot of different things that you may not even be aware of that can be done. So call me for a consultation, see what your situation is, and let's talk. And my job is to help you do better and help you make your situation better. And sometimes we don't think that there is different ways, like we don't think that we can do better, but having a second pair of eyes and a person who's armed with a lot of different options available to you. I've done a lot of pretty cool things with clients, and so give me a call. Let me know if there's things that you want to do, or as we're trying to combat inflation and all of these other things that are going on this year, we really need to focus and make it happen. So this weekend we've got Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not really. I know the Bengals and the Rams are in it, and I love to watch the game. I was a cheerleader back in the day, so I know all about football. Don't really follow it all year long, but I enjoy watching it, and of course the commercials. So Monday will probably be a rough day for everybody, so not a lot of work will get done on Monday, right? And then I also want to wish everybody happy Valentine's Day on Monday. So enjoy that, do whatever it is that you do that makes you happy. So I will be back next Friday. Remember, let's all try to do better and be better. Communication is key. Returning phone calls is important. And just being present and just doing the best that we can. I know I'm a little bit not as positive as I usually am, but I'll pick it up. It's just been a rough week. But have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next Friday. Interesting show today. Hope everybody's well, and I will see you next Friday.